Hey guys, Captain here. Today I'm bringing you some more of my LEGO Pokemon. I've got a really exciting trio today. I've gotten a few requests for it, and it seemed appropriate with the recent release of Pokemon Go. I've got the legendary birds Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. I've had a few small ideas of how to build Zapdos for a little while. I was toying around with the technique recently, and then I acquired the pieces. Actually used a similar technique for Articuno. And Moltres, I always figured, just wouldn't be terribly hard to do. It's a little more straightforward than the others. But anyways, let's get on with the instructions. I'm going to go in numeric order. I assume it's the Pokédex order, but after all, they are uno, dos, tres. So let's start with Articuno. Alright, first let's get the body and the tail out of the way. Now you'll start with a blue headlight piece, and on that stick a dark gray cheese slope. And on top, I went with a blue claw tile. You can maybe find something better. I don't know if medium azure claw tiles exist. If they do, or medium dark azure, I think that's the color. I don't know, there's a million shades of blue. But medium dark azure sounds right. If that does exist, maybe go with that, or even, I don't know, some kind of cheese slope in that color. It'll look a little better to match the coloring of the tail. But anyway, a blue claw tile will do just fine. Below that, stick a Travis brick upright. Now what you'll want to do is below that stick a 1x1 blue brick. And then on the sides, or rather on the back side here, stick a 1x2 blue plate. On the front stick, if you have a 1x4 medium blue plate, go with that. Otherwise, I went with a 1x2 medium blue plate, stuck another one right there and held them together with a 1x2 medium blue plate on top. And what you'll want to do, you may have to kind of pull this out a little bit. Stick a Travis brick into this little hole, this pin right here. Hopefully the camera will focus. Yeah, so stick the side of the Travis brick into that pin. And try and make things line up nicely. There are different ways of doing this, but this will do. The point is that it won't stick in quite all the way. You'll see there's just a slight gap there. I think that's a distance of like half of a unit of I don't know, of some kind of building unit. Depends how you want to think of your units. But like you can think of a brick as being 6 units tall. So I think this would be half of one of them. Anyways, you know, little math aside, what you'll want to do is you'll want to take these kinds of dark gray hinge plates and want to stick them on the sides of this Travis brick. And now for the tail, you'll take 6 bricks, 1x2 bricks in medium dark azure, and you'll kind of just staircase them a little bit, and then we'll bend them into the nice shape of a tail. I thought this color was really good for the tail color, and again, it would be nice for a little, I don't know, flare it's got up top. But yeah, now we can just bend them a little bit, maybe like that. There we go, and we can stick this into this back side of the Travis brick. The tail is complete, and you can maybe angle it a little bit so that it lets Articuno kind of sit. Maybe let's go for less exaggerated here. Pretty good. Alright, now let's move on to the wings. Now luckily the wings are symmetrical, so you know, you can just do the same thing twice. I can use the old wing as a reference. What you'll need are 5 medium blue 1x2 plates, 6 medium blue, or 6 regular blue 1x2 plates, 2 blue 1x4 plates, and 3 blue studs. Now I did consider this with 1x3 blue plates. I tried it out. I actually thought it looked better with the studs, so that's what I'm going with. This is a technique that I've been thinking about making a video about for a while. I'm probably going to release that sometime like the middle of this week or whatever. Anyways, what you'll do is you'll really loosely stack these plates on top of each other. So you see it's not quite in all the way, but it's kind of in on the other side. Maybe the camera will focus nicely, but you know, these two are basically in all the way here, and then there's kind of a bit of a half stud gap here. So you'll do that for a little bit with, you'll go blue, medium blue, blue, medium blue, blue, medium blue, and then you'll mix it up. You'll toss in a blue stud, and you'll throw in a blue plate. You can almost press it down, not quite. You don't want to quite press it down, but you can almost do that. And then you'll go for another medium blue on top. This is probably the trickiest part because you want to, do the same effect as you're doing on your stud, but you kind of want to have the blue plate stick in there a little bit. There we go. It's not the biggest of gaps, but it's still kind of loose. It's still kind of got some curve to it. And then you'll repeat that 2 more times. And then finally, once you've got, once you're on your last blue stud and blue plate, 1x2 plate, you'll just go with 2 blue 1x4s. And you'll make this twice. Hopefully you'll get them to be about the same height. You'll see better once you actually stick it on Articuno. Sticking it on is pretty easy. Just toss it on there. It should line up right with the legs. And there we have it. Articuno is complete. I think it's not the most stable in the world. The wings are decently stable. As you can see, I'm able to handle it, even move it around a little bit. But you can't really bend the wings, and there's no motion built into the wings. I could have maybe tried to do that. I could have gone with some kind of hinge brick. I don't know if I have any laying around. Yeah, I guess I do have the one, but I don't have another one. So maybe I should have considered this. But you could, if you wanted, you could include some kind of range of motion with it. I would have made the wings smaller. They wouldn't have been as good of an angle, which is why, I wanted to keep them not enormous, but still having like a pretty good angle. So I am happy with how it's turned out, but maybe you could experiment around with hinge bricks like this. I only have the one in blue anyway, so they didn't want to go with it. Maybe I could have stolen it off Kyogre or something. Anyways, that aside, let's move on to Zapdos. Again, I'm just going to start with the body. We're going to do it in 2 pieces right now, the head and the rest of the body, because the wings are going to go between. So for the head, you're going to start with a yellow jumper plate. Our good friend the Travis brick goes on top of that. And then take 2 yellow jumper plates, stick them on the sides of this Travis brick, and stick cheese slopes onto the jumper plate studs. Toss a yellow stud. If you have a 1x1 yellow plate, that might be better, maybe. Toss that on top of the Travis brick. I actually do really need to get my hands on 1x1 pieces in yellow and stuff like that. I do now have a bunch of 1x2s, but still short of some stuff. Anyway, on the back side, take a 2x2 yellow plate and stick the this big hole onto the stud of the Travis brick. On the front side, take 3 orange studs and an orange cone, and that'll be the beak. Now for the lower part of the body, you'll take a yellow 1x2 brick, 2 1x1 modified yellow bricks with a stud on one side, or headlights, whatever works. Below that, 2 1x2 yellow plates. And now you'll take a Travis brick. On the side, you'll stick a 1x1 yellow brick facing downwards. On the other sides, you'll go with 1x2 black plates. And then, in a similar technique to what we did with Articuno's wings, just a slight bend, add 1x2 yellow plates to the side there. So stick that underneath. And now, on top of the studs of our modified yellow bricks, stick 2 brown cylinders. And I went with some orange grill plates for the feet. There are a couple ways you could do the feet for all of these. I like the grill plates here. I think they looked really good. And so, right in between here, we're going to stick the wings. So the wings aren't quite symmetrical, but I'm only building one, mostly so I can use the other one as reference, and I can just discuss the only difference between them. Now, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to take 2 of these yellow hinge plates and stick them on top of each other. So as we can see here on top, I can place a 1x6 yellow plate, but on the other one, I'd have to place that underneath. So there's a way I compensate for that. So anyway, that's what you'll want to do. I'm going to make the right wing. The left wing, again, I'll show you exactly what's different with that. So take a a yellow hinge plate like this. I guess 1x4 smooth hinge or whatever the proper name is on Bricklink. Stick a 1x6 yellow plate underneath. And so now what you'll do is you can see here we want to stick something on top of that. So to compensate for this, we're going to take a yellow stud and we're going to stick it right here with a 1 gap in between this and that. And so underneath will actually be easier than the other side because we can just take a 1x4 yellow plate, stick a stud on the end, and then toss it in here. Kind of 1 stud off. This is a more or less the same technique I used with Articuno. It's a little bit of a variation on it. I used this specific technique in when I made the Torii Gate a while ago. I've seen it used for wings on some other stuff. It's not a technique I came up with on my own. I've seen it used a small amount of times. I think it's a really neat one, so I appreciate that I actually got to put it to use. Anyway, enough rambling. We'll take a 1x2 yellow plate, stick it to the underside here. Again, same thing we did with Articuno and the lower part of the Zapdos' tail, essentially. And so on the top, what you'll want to do is you'll want to take a 1x4 red plate, stick a stud at the end, place a 1x6 yellow plate. Did I say red earlier? I meant yellow, of course. You could see that. Stick a 1x6 yellow plate like this. You can just kind of angle it along so it should pop a little bit into the stud and at the stud at the end here. Count 2 from the back and then place a yellow stud and then stick a 1x4 yellow plate there. Another yellow stud at the very end of the 1x4 plate. This one staggered off by 1, so we get a nice shape for the wings. And now what we can do is we can just stick it in here. We kind of want to make it pop a little bit into the stud and a little bit into one off from this edge of the hinge. That's how we'll want to do it. So on the other side, you'll see we've got like the same thing going on. What's different about the other side is because you don't have the 1x6 here. You know, you can't just put the 1x2, or rather the yellow stud into the other side of this. It would change the angling and everything. So you'll stick a 1x2 yellow plate underneath the 1x6 on that side. And that's how you'll build both wings. So stack them on top of each other. Whoops, I guess I didn't make this super sturdy. Okay, should be good now. And so, Zapdos' lower part of the body goes right below that. Jumper plate of the head goes right above that. And Zapdos is complete with moving wings. Moltres' wings are pretty simple, and frankly it's quite sturdy and, you know, playable if you're into that. So I'm not going to separate them out from the rest of the body. We're still going to start with the head though. Take a yellow jumper plate, take a modified 1x1 brick with a stud on one side in yellow. On top place a red claw plate. And right here I am going to mention, you could go more so with red, you could go more so with orange. Now depending which artwork you look at, Moltres either has more of an orange kind of flame going on. Sometimes in older artwork it's red, even with some pink mixed in. I decided to go more so on the red side. That's something really up to you. Orange will look great too, because it just looks good against yellow. But mine's more so yellow and red. And then, anyway, back to this. You'll stick a flame piece into this claw. And then for the beak, take 2 red studs and a red cone. Pretty similar to what we did with Zapdos. Alright, so for the wings, you're going to take 2 more of these 1x4 smooth hinge plates. On top of one of them, place a 1x6 yellow plate. Below the other one, this is one of those aforementioned spots where I wish I had a 1x1 plate in yellow, but I went with a yellow stud. It'll do alright. This will be trickier on the one side. Underneath, just stick a 2x4 red plate. Easy. Here, we want to kind of make that, so we're going to take a red corner plate. On top of it, we're going to stick a yellow 1x4 plate so we can put this other stuff in place. And then 2x3 in red. Now, I don't have a red 2x3 because most of my red plates got used up into the Rotom Pokédex. So a 1x2 and a 2x2 will have to do. Of course, a 1x3 or 2x3 is ideal. Anyways, now what you'll want to do is on both sides, counting from the center, on the first stud you'll want an orange claw tile, and on the third stud you'll want a red claw tile. I went with 1 orange, 1 red to kind of mix it up a little bit, but you can go both orange, both red, whatever floats your boat. And then between, I had some of these translucent orange cheese slopes, so I kind of angled them like at the wing, you know, or I guess against the wing. You see what's going on here. And I stuck these on the in-between studs. And then, as you may have guessed, in our claw tiles, we're going to stick some more flames. Interestingly, I noticed that one of my flames doesn't have these little pegs. I don't know if they just broke off really cleanly or if the piece simply didn't have any. But anyways, I don't. So, I don't know what's up with that. But flames are not too hard to come by. So I have quite a few sitting around. There you go. Alright, and we can stick the head on top of that. Now for the body. Alright, next thing you'll want to do is you'll want to take a yellow hinge brick. And then below that stick a 1x2 yellow brick. A 1x2 yellow plate or orange plate with the bar, segmented bar coming off the bottom. And below that another 1x2 yellow brick. In the back there is not, I think, there probably could be a more clever way to make the tail, but with what I had sitting around, this was fine. Stick a yellow headlight piece. You could be a modified brick, but I think headlight's a little nicer. Probably sticks in a little better. Into the little pin in your 1x2 yellow brick. On the top side, just stick another red claw tile. And then I got one of these big flames from some Mixels set at some point in time. You could go with another smaller flame, but I think the big flame's nice for the tail. I have seen no one's really built Zapdos or Articuno on the same scale that I like to build stuff in Lego, but I have seen at least one Moltres used this kind of tail, and since I had this piece sitting around, I thought it would be nice to use it as well. For the feet, you'll want to take a red claw tile and orange 1x2. Red would be fine too. Anyway, stick that underneath, attach it to, oops, I angled my claw tiles the wrong way. Attach that to the edges of this segmented bar. And then, on top, stick Moltres' body. Now, the reason for the hinge brick is because in a lot of artwork you see Moltres kind of gliding along, breathing fire and everything. So I wanted to kind of, allow for a little bit of a head bend there. Because I think it would look nicer that way than having it, either be like this, like Zapdos. That's not really a pose Moltres makes much. Or with its beak down like this, especially with the way I built the wings and their angle straight up. So I decided to go with a bit of a slope. You could design this completely differently so that the wings are parallel just anyway, parallel with the ground, I mean, and that the head is angled completely differently. If you went with a headlight, you could have made the head stick off the jumper like this. It's a thing you could have done, but I decided not to do it that way. And so there we go. Moltres is complete. Let's bring back Zapdos and Articuno. So with that, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please rate, comment, subscribe. Send this to your friends. Check out my other videos. And I will see you guys next time.